Hello, friends.
Hello.
How are
Hello.
you? We're joined by Jessica.
I just terrified myself because I just counted how many books are on my TBR for the month because I have the books separated out on like 6 different pages.
Are you doing readathons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like my readathon books and my group books for book clubs that I'm doing and projects, and it's like 22 books. One of them is book 2 of Wheel of Time.
Okay.
So yeah, I just read that as we were doing the countdown and then terrified myself. So I know what I'm doing tonight.
It's a lot of books. I haven't finished a book in a minute. That's okay.
I finished this one yesterday. I think Amber would like it.
Ooh, I've seen that cover around a lot.
What is it?
God Killer by Hannah Kaner, and it's a girl her family was killed by zealots of a fire god, and she escaped, but she lost her leg, and she becomes a god killer, and she picks up this small human child whose like entire family was also killed, and has a god attached to her. Like the god and the child are like connected and they can't unconnect them. And she wants to kill the god, but she can't because she feels bad for the kid. And then they meet up with a soldier who had like quit the army, but then like gets re-pulled in. And he's also like trying to go to this land of the gods that they're all trying to go to. So it's got a little bit of an adventure. It's got some romance. It's got like the god is kind of like a cool animal companion. There's a cool horse. It's less than 300 pages.
I like a good horse.
Listen, I'm just saying she did more in these 300 pages than I've seen authors do in 1,000 pages, but it didn't feel rushed.
Yeah.
So
impressive.
I finished it last night. It was a great time. I had a fantastic time. I finished it last night on Sprints.
I love it. Still reading the same book I was reading last weekend. I think I probably read 50 more pages this week.
That's okay.
This week.
Whoops. That's all right.
You were super busy with work this week. I was.
All right, friends. Let's see who's here. Hello, Kelly. Hello. Hello, hello. I can escape working the weekend. So writing it counts as relaxation time.
Nice.
Very good. Hello. Jessica, what are you doing? It's the trio again.
She's doing the hello dance.
Oh my goodness. It's the this for me. It's the circles.
Thank you for being here today. Thank you for being here today.
Hello. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
How are you? How is everybody?
Did no one ever teach you pageant waving?
No. Dude, in what world was I in a pageant?
Oh, sorry. I used to do beauty pageants.
I'm like, my wrist, it doesn't do whatever you're doing. My wrist doesn't do.
I used to be not in beauty pageants, but in parades because I was in a dance troupe that used to do parades.
It's like you don't want your whole arm to get tired. And this is like considered rude. So you do like a very gentle wave.
It's like a weird circular thing.
It is.
They taught, like, we had a whole session of like teaching us how to wave for the parade.
This is part of pageantry. Was you had to learn how to do waving for pageantry. I know I've told you that I used to do pageants because 120% they one time asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, and I said I wanted to be a Dalmatian so I could lick firemen. So I know I've told you the story before.
I don't remember that.
I don't think you have.
I think you're thinking of your other friends.
You wanted to be a Dalmatian so you could lick firemen.
I was like 9. And I want you to know that I also won that pageant. I had a giant trophy.
Yeah. You're like, they were pro fireman licking, and I won a trophy. Thank you.
I want you to know that I used to win multiple beauty pageants. I don't know what happened to me as a teenager, except other than getting fat. But
You're still beautimous. I don't think I've ever known anybody until now that's ever done pageants.
it wasn't like it is now. For reference, like it wasn't like fake teeth and hair, and we didn't do that when we were kids. That wasn't a thing that we did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What was your talent?
Baton twirling.
Yeah, it was. Yep. Oh yeah.
Tap dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your Charger kicked the bucket this weekend? Oof. Kindle Unlimited romance reading tag.
I'm sure Amazon or Walmart or Target or someone has a charger that you can use.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with Kindle Unlimited romance. I'm a fan. Hello. Look at you making it to the live. Finish Bride from The Last Prince and on to yours truly, Abby Jimenez. Very nice. By the High Mountain Court. You might like that one if you liked that.
Looking it up.
Similar vibes.
Vibes.
Hello. I will be making bracelets. I have plenty for an event this summer. Very nice. It's the Queen wave. I thought the Queen's arm was a lot less movie. I forgot to wear a peasant and not in beauty pageants. It definitely wasn't. I thought the Queen was more like a full, like, elbow wrist turn. I thought it was less, more scoop the ice cream than like you were doing a wavy hand.
The guts out of the pumpkin.
Yeah, scoop the pumpkin.
Yeah, we used to have to do like a wave, but mostly with our wrist. We didn't do this.
Do you wonder if like all my years of doing this is why I can do this?
Oh, mine doesn't do it as much anymore. I used to do it really loudly. I can feel it. You just can't. It's not audible anymore.
Do you think all of my years of doing this is what causes?
My mouth is watering in a vomitous way. No.
You should be a skeleton for Halloween.
Pro licking fireman as well.
Foundation. Oh, she grows up. She wants to be a werewolf so she can lick firemen.
New church on Tuesday. Very nice. Yeah, I think maybe that's why Jessica. Please stop.
Mine's probably why my elbows always need to be popped all the time.
She does that all the time. She will do that whilst in the passenger seat of my car while I am driving down the road. And she does that, but she can't do it straight. She has to do it to the side. So I just think I'm about to get clocked in the face. So literally anybody behind us thinks that I'm just casually being abused whilst driving. And I don't even flinch anymore. So they're like, oh, she gets beat so much that she doesn't even face her. Ridiculous.
Also, Jess, you'll be happy to know 7.5 months later, I finally told my dad that I lived in Vincennes.
He called today, and I'm like whispering across the desk. I'm like, I'm so proud of you. So proud of you.
You didn't even get that all out before I started laughing. I knew what you were gonna say.
She was like, yeah, so about that. I moved to Pennsylvania.
Did he ask you when you moved?
No. But she did say oh yeah, we had snow and da-da-da-da. So he knows it's at least been like
a couple months,
a little bit.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Go you.
Mm-hmm. I know. Look at that. The visual. Yeah. Yeah. And she was like, I would never hit you. And I'm like, cool. But you are doing that next to somebody who's driving down the street, who's like hyper alert and aware of everything around her and has, anxiety and PTSD. And like, you're just punching in my general direction there's no like, ooh, I'm kind of achy. I kind of have to pop a joint. She just like out of nowhere is like, oh, pop. And I'm like, what? I'm driving here. Like, that's terrifying.
We would be in trouble because I would 100% be like, oh.
Yeah.
We'd be in trouble.
No, I'm expected to just deal with it. She's like, well, I'm not gonna hit you. I'm like, cool. Tell my brain that.
I'm telling your brain.
You don't know.
I don't know. I'm sorry I have survival skills.
I think the first time I did it, I was driving and you were in the passenger seat and you were like, what are you doing? Like,
Why are you? Why?
And every time, just so you know, Jess, every time we drive through downtown, we say, we're on 4th Street. We got to be on 2nd. Do the math.
Do math. Every single time we drive through downtown. Do math.
Do math.
I was like, math. And I still, to this day, justify it with city streets don't always go in numerical order. So it's not valid.
They don't.
We're on 2nd. We need to turn on 6th. Do math.
I was like, what street is that? What number is that? Are we okay? Do I have to turn yet? Do math. Jesus.
And then in immediate, that came out way worse than I didn't mean it that way.
I was like, are you sure? Because it sure shit sounded like you did. I was like, it's nighttime. I'm driving through the city. I haven't driven through it that many times yet. I'm just asking for some passenger validation.
And I'm over here punching in the air and just like, do math. Like, what did I get myself into?
I was like, can I just get a little help?
I'm in the backseat. I can't see any signs.
I can't do math normally either. So I was like, I don't know if they're going up or down. I don't know if they alternate. I don't know these roads yet.
I mean, like how where I live, they go 5th, 4th, Main Street, 2nd Street, Water Street. There is no 1st Street.
See?
And Main Street is 3rd Street.
See? All right, friends. What are the three of us working on?
I'm still knitting.
Mm-hmm.
A pillowcase, if anybody's interested.
Jess is going to be reading. Yes.
Jess is going to be painting her nails and reading Totally Psychic by Bridget Martin, which is a book I got at the library, which is why it's so shiny.
By who?
Bridget Martin.
Oh, okay. That's not how you said it the first time.
What did I say the first time?
You were questioning whether it was Bridget, and you did a weird pause thing.
I mean, I guess it could be Brigid.
It could be Brigid.
Or guide.
I don't know her life.
Well,
some
people that spell it that way, if they're not from the U.S., they do pronounce it Brigid. So, I mean, it could be. I don't know.
Could be. I don't know.
I've never met her. She hasn't told me how to pronounce her name. I also think she's Hispanic. So, yes, she's a very gorgeous Hispanic lady. So, she could pronounce it however the fuck she wants.
That's valid. I'm going to write. I'm going to work on the book. Are we ready for our first 45-minute sprint, friends?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Fantastic. Well, let's get into it and see how we do.
Good luck, everyone.
Boop. Boo doop.
When's back?
Back again. Guess who's back?
Jessica crying while reading a book on chapter 8.
Chapter 8. That's promising. I love that for you.
Poor little girl. She was minding her own business at the airport. She can see ghosts. And she ran into a lady who had a ghost standing next to her. And she was trying to talk to the ghost to see, to try to tell the lady about the ghosts. And it was the ghost of her best friend. She was going on a trip. And her best friend was supposed to go on the trip with her. And she died before they got to go. And she said she was going to go on the trip with her in spirit. And she was a much cheaper travel companion. And she didn't even have to use her Sky Miles.
Fair.
I'm like, this is rude. This is a child's book, and I'm on chapter 8. I should not already be crying.
Yeah, I've been crying all day at random stuff, so I get it.
Rude.
At
Commercials,
Lego Masters.
Oh, it sounds like you've been hanging out with me all day, doesn't it, Amber?
Who knew? Who knew? I looked at Amber at one point and I went, I'm not okay. Why? I was like, I'm crying at Lego Masters. She was like, do you see how red my eyes are? I am too. And I was like, okay, good.
Why?
What is wrong with me?
Well, because the mom and the son, the mom just wanted to make the son proud because he's the Lego guy, and they made this freaking adorable, what was it? The animal antelope or
oh, yeah.
Some sort of antelope thing, and they had to put it on this mechanical bull, and it lasted the longest of everybody before it broke, and we were glassy-eyed, excited for them.
Mm-hmm. Like, what is wrong with me?
Why am I like this?
She was such a mom.
This other girl was crying, and she was like, "Do you need a tissue? Do you want some applesauce?"
God, my mom's not like
that. It wasn't even her team. It was another.
Somebody totally random. How'd everybody do? I broke 15,000 words, which is not impressive considering I've been at 12 for like weeks. But I got 1,475 words. I had like 280, 290 before we started. So words worded. I worded.
I knitted. You see my new knitting needles I got?
You can't tell that they're anything but black.
They look brown and orange. They look like a wrappy pattern.
It's a little bit better, but they're very pretty in real life, in person.
In real life, as opposed to what this is.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're all different like colors and stuff.
Okay.
Like
I can see with the green one really well.
Mm-hmm.
They're swirly.
They're kind of marbly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got to 20% in my audiobook and got one hand painted.
And there you have it. Oh, Jess, I can't remember whether Final Girls by Riley Sager was one of the books that you liked or didn't like.
That was his first book.
Is not my least favorite.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not one of my favorites. It's like my second least favorite.
For me, it's like one of his better ones, but still kind of middle of the road.
I like his more straightforward ones, so I did like that one. But
like his first two feel very traditional thriller.
Yep.
Did you see that they've already started advertising for the next one coming out?
My least favorite is Lock Every Door.
Yeah, because that's garbage.
But most people,
it's not my least favorite because you know my least favorite. But
because everyone else on the planet's least favorite is Survive the Night, except for me, and I loved that book.
I haven't read Survive the Night or any of his newer ones. I think
I
Lock
think-
Every Door.
I did.
No.
I read the only one left, but I haven't read The House Across the Lake, but I do own it.
You won't like The House Across the Lake because you like the straightforward ones. You won't like The House Across the Lake.
Well, I bought it.
I mean, I loved it. It's probably my favorite. Actually, the only one left is probably my favorite. But then House Across the Lake.
I think that I just wanted him to go there, like make it supernatural.
House Across the Lake will
Like-
do that for you.
Like the back and forth of like, is it not? And then it ends up being the most absolutely mundane thing ever. Like in Lock Every Door.
I feel like everybody has a Riley Sager book that works for them and one that doesn't. And I feel like if you go into Survive the Night with your expectations 6 feet down below the floor, you'll enjoy it.
That says something, though. If you expect absolute trash garbage, you'll like it.
Okay, but I expected absolute trash garbage to the extent of like it making me so viscerally angry that I wanted to burn it into a fire, and I loved it.
Yeah.
So like I just think everyone else on planet Earth is wrong and I'm right.
The thing, though, is that Julie, I think, went into it with no expectations because he'd had some that she liked and some that she didn't like. So she was like, I have no expectations. I have no idea. And then was like, garbage.
Which is fine.
I haven't read it, so I don't know what my opinion is.
Everybody's
but-
different. Hello. Working on my novel. I'm packing for a birthday trip. Woohoo!
Nice.
Yay, for birthday trips. 182 words for Kate. Very nice. 173 words written and cleaned up after your stinky cat.
Speaking of stinky cats, Julie's
Well
cat's
done.
been extra stinky lately.
She has been, my poor babies. Made 3 bracelets. Very nice. And coasted through 60 pages of this book. It's so silly. I'm having a great time. It's so silly. It must be the night for cat mess. Because I just cleaned up cat urine that my cat just peed randomly on the floor of my garage. My
It's so
cat
random.
would not ever. I would enter.
Today Julie's niece Raja spent like 95% of the day outside, and I cleaned a lot of stuff. I spent the whole day cleaning and doing things other than the 3-hour accidental nap that I took. But I cleaned the litter box and like deep cleaned the litter box, and that bitch watched me clean it, bring it inside, and she followed me inside, used the litter box, and then went back outside.
Mhm.
And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You have an entire globe of litter box and you have to come inside and use the litter box that I have to clean?
Sounds about right. Sounds about right.
What a bitch.
Ballad. Got 300 words of plotting. I
Nice.
love that. Plotting is the funnest. Okay. Jess and Julie, hear me out. My next book, A Witch Solving Murders.
I mean,
Yeah.
I like murder.
I like witches.
I prefer the witch be doing the murders, but I'll take her solving the murders.
A murdery witch?
Murder.
It just sounds like a cozy mystery.
Yeah, I'm reading. What am I reading? That Heartless Hunter right now. That's witches and witch hunters. I'm not loving it as much as I wanted to. It's not horrible. It's just
I want you to know that while we were doing that sprint, along with the fact that I'm, complaining about how many books I have to read this month, I just agreed to a Sarah J. Maas read along that starts this month. So,
Like a Throne of Glass read along, a quarter
like
like
all of them, starting from Throne of Glass all the way through, like one a month for, I don't know, the next 2 years or whatever.
Have you read any of them yet?
I've read the first 2 books of Throne of Glass and then unhauled them and was like, I mean, they're fine, but who has the time?
No one.
But I was peer pressured and I don't like myself, Katie. That's why.
I stopped in the middle of both of her series and unhauled everything. I was like,
Yeah, I didn't
not for
read
me.
Throne of Glass at all. I read the Court of Thorns and Roses, book 1, 2, and 3, and then have not read anything else by her and have unhauled everything.
Yeah.
So,
See,
I did the same.
I stupidly bought them all on Audible, so like I own them all, like in audiobook format. So I'm like, I might as well listen to them. I gave my physical books to my friend Brittany, who has read them and liked them all. So I gave her the physical books because she didn't have them. But
Yeah. I had all the physical books. I have gotten rid of them. And I did read Throne of Glass though, up to
the yellow one, right?
Kale's book. Five?
Tower of Dawn.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the yellow one?
No, it was blue.
No, the yellow one is something ash.
I just remember that it was like all the same color scheme, and then all of a sudden, like this bright gold yellow
Yeah.
monstrosity.
Yeah, no, I never got
Kingdom of
I never
Ash.
I stopped. Which I think is 5, and I think Kingdom of Ash is 7.
Well,
I don't know how many there are, but I stopped.
there's 2 that they tell you that you should tandem read, like Tower of Dawn, and then the one that comes after, because like everything that's happening in Kale's book is happening during
It's
the
like
other book.
Yeah.
So it appears to be that it's set up as a tandem read. So, I was just like, I'm already reading Wheel of Time. I signed up for 15 books, 12 books, however many books of Wheel of Time there are. I might as well just jump right in and read all of the Sarah J. Maas books. Like, why not?
Seems like a no. So just like a no. Why would you do that? Can I peer pressure you out of doing it?
I feel like this is a weird thing to say as someone who's like, I've decided I'm not writing anymore. But I think that if you have any interest in writing in that genre at all, you should probably read The Blueprint. And I feel like she's the blueprint for that genre. And if I ever write my werewolf romance, it will be romantasy, essentially. So I feel like if you're going to write in that genre, you should read the blueprint of the genre.
I read like The Crescent City.
I mean, I'll get there sometime next year.
That one at least has werewolves.
Also, I don't think she's the blueprint because I think they just renamed urban fantasy and paranormal romance into romantasy.
Kind of.
Because it's exactly like stuff we used to read when we were reading Sookie Stackhouse and the Rachel Griffin and all that stuff.
I think it has
with better set.
A little bit of a different vibe, but yes.
Not really. To me. Not the ones I was reading, at least. It feels the same.
Witch solving murders in my current work in progress. It also has a reformed witch hunter. I have a cozy mystery romance.
Yeah, cozy mysteries are fun.
Lovely. That sounds fun.
It's like they took those 2 genres though and they like spliced it together to make romantasy, because it was like urban fantasy was sexy, but it focused more on the fantasy, and then paranormal romance was focused more on the romance than on the fantasy. And they just kind of pushed it together to make one genre that focused on both at the same time.
Technically, I think that this technicality is not a like always true. I think romantasy is typically set outside of an alternate version of our world. Like usually there's like completely different like political structure and hierarchy and different types of creatures other than just like our world, but with werewolves, vampires, whatever. And then either being romance or fantasy, like that part of it. I think romantasy is more like high fantasy, so it's not our world, but more focus on the romance in a technicality world. But you know, that's just the vibe I get.
Cover vibe. This is like Sarah Ward and Christine Vian,
who are more of like paranormal romance or urban fantasy. They're not technically romantasy, in my opinion, which means absolutely fucking nothing in the grand scheme of things.
It's fine. That's how you define it. It makes sense for you. If it makes sense for you, all that matters.
Did I add a book to my TBR the other day going, this is 100% romantasy, and I haven't even looked at a romantasy through binoculars, let alone dipped my toe into it? Yes, I did. And I went, I might as well just jump in and join the ride. Like, I might as well just hop in with everybody else.
Yeah. I did originally like A Court of Thorns and Roses and A Court of Fist and Fury. I just really hated A Court of Wings and Ruin. It made me angry enough to like, I just want to get rid of the entire series. It ruined it.
I think at this point, I have had enough spoilers for all of the series that I doubt anything will surprise me. But, you know, it'll be okay.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
I'm just going to stay over here in my little horror thriller life.
I do have to read the Second Crescent City, though, because I do own it.
I just want you guys to know that I was peer pressured into reading Wheel of Time. I've been peer pressured into reading all of Sarah J. Maas. I was peer pressured into joining Realmathon. Essentially, if you want to pressure me into something, be my friend and then just tell me to do it. And that's going to take me about 3 times to say no. And then I'll be like, fine, I'll do it.
Oh, so when are you finishing Mistborn?
It's on the list for this month.
You said that.
So many months.
It is on the list for this month.
With 20 other books.
Yeah.
You need to prioritize it.
It is scheduled for do math. I can do math. I can listen, bitch. I could tell you what we get scheduled for. Like, if I knew where my whatever week the final book support group. I think it's the 18th through the 24th. It's scheduled for that week. That week is dedicated to that book. That's the first thing I'm going to pick up on the 18th. And if it's the only thing I read that week, then it's the only thing I read that week.
Have a pack of tissues ready to go. Because you is going to cry.
And I already bought the audiobook. So it's like waiting for me.
Good.
And my boss is not going to be at work this week. So I can listen to audiobooks at work this week.
And there you have it.
So
it does need to get read. It has been said for a while, so I'm glad. Mystery solving witch's snarky crone who doesn't put up with anyone, including kings, has a side gig as a midwife. What a side gig. Let me know how the peer pressure you out of that shit. Out of Sarah J. Maas. Same thing. I have 1 hour and 3 minutes of my audiobook left. So promising. It's on the list, but will it be read? Who knows?
It is scheduled for a specific week, and I have that entire week to read that book if I so choose to take the entire week to read it.
You should add in Search of Lost Time to your TBR this month.
Is that a real book, or are you telling me that I'm losing time? I don't know.
I have no idea if that's a real book or not.
I'm like, is that a real thing? Are you calling me out?
I have a feeling it's probably a giant tome, and they're like, you have time for it. It's probably a 1,000 page book.
It's like when I tell you, I'm already a month behind on Wheel of Time. So I was supposed to read book 2 last month and then book 3 this month. But they're taking 2 months for book 4 and they're taking June off.
What kind of
So
laughter was that?
it was that. That was it.
It's a French translated novel that is 4,215 pages.
You know what? You're right. I should just put that in too. Yeah, never.
Oh my God.
That was the laugh. I don't think I've ever
That
heard
was
Amber
the, like,
laugh
what
like
did
that.
I just read last?
How big must that be physically?
It's gonna come in multi-books, right?
It has to.
must.
I knew Amber
I knew
would
Amber
Google
would
it.
Google it. Holy crap.
I would, but I have a hand in the dryer, so.
Oh my goodness. Well, we can continue to look up that lovely monstrosity while we're in the middle of the next sprint. Amber's going to reset the timer and we're going to start her up. I got words to do.
I've never seen that number in
Pages?
response to pages.
Nope.
of a book.
No, never. That sounds terrifying. All right, friends. Let's get into the last sprint.
Good luck, everybody. Ended back.
I had my music on. I had to turn it off. But I had my music on through my headphones, and then heard you laughing when I came back. I was like, oh, sound inception. I had to stop that.
So I'm supposed to finish the show. I was like, I'm going to finish it. I'll come back, but I'm going to finish it.
You finish it. I got my other hand painted, so I'm at 2 now. 2 hands painted. I did a book update. I got to 50% in the book.
Damn.
Nice.
I put up leftovers from dinner. And I took the togs out to pee. The togs.
Great for the togs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The togs love it.
Togs are...
Got all my nail stuff cleaned up and put away. So I did things.
Crushing it. Pretty
much.
I got to 2,323 words, so just under 1,000 for that one.
Nice.
Crushed it. Yeah. Crushed it. Things are getting written. It's great. We're fine. We're fantastic. It actually is going well. I would rather be crocheting. I looked at Amber. I was like, I'm so mad. I have to write a book. I just want to crochet. I really shouldn't have learned a new hobby. I really shouldn't have. I didn't need another craft. It's not fantastic for my productivity.
I mean, you'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just like diamond painting, it will wane off, and
I have a huge diamond painting open too. Fine. Everything's fine. I almost stopped reading Akatar, but honestly, once I got halfway through, it's glued. All of them.
Reese's the best character in that series.
Yeah. I did a tarot reading and got 205 words written.
Nice.
That sounds amazing. Job took out the togs. This channel has its own language.
Mostly just because I can't talk.
Yeah. I've been fighting to find words recently. Not find them. They're coming out fine. They're coming out fast. They're just not coming out correct. I've been saying weird words lately.
Apparently, it's a symptom of perimenopause, which starts around the age of 35.
Of which I'm over.
I want you to know that yesterday morning, part of my errands that I had to run was to go to, well, technically they're urgent care, but that's where they do like the laboratory to like draw your blood and do all that fun stuff. Okay. So I had to go and have my labs done. And my like sticker thing that they gave me that has like my name and my birth date and everything said my birth date and then said 37 years. And I went, but I'm not 37, right? I'm 36. Because and then I counted from 87 and I was like, no, I am 36 for like 3 more months. Apparently I'm just close enough to 37 that the machine was just like, you're 37. But for a solid, like long enough for me to have to count everything, I was confused.
Questioned everything.
Yeah, I was like, this doesn't feel right.
See, it's easy for Julie because her birthday is on a 0. So whatever decade she's in, whatever the year is at the end of that decade is how old she is. So she's in her 40s decade. It's, it's 23 is the last birthday she had, so she's 43. Once her birthday for 24 comes up, she will be 44. It's easy.
So that works.
And since I'm 82 and not 80, I just do what is Julie's age and I minus 2.
Rude. It's rude.
So that I don't have to count.
I typically do Danica's age because I can remember how old she is and then add 20.
Mm-hmm.
But like, because I'm like, no, because Danica, like, as I'm sitting there doing the math, and I'm like, no, she just turned 16 last year because this was her first year driving. And when she got her license, so she turned 16 last year, which means she'll be 17 this year, which means I won't be 37 until after she turns 17 because our birthdays are like almost to the day 20 years apart.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, this math is not mathing. This hospital is trying to gaslight me.
I usually forget how old I am just because I don't think about it. I don't care. And then somebody says the number and I go, surely not. We went to see a friend's kid play hockey for his college that I knew when he was in the womb and he's in college. And I went, that seems wrong because I just got out of college. So
like 2 weeks ago.
I just got out of college. So this doesn't math.
It also doesn't help when he had a growth spurt since the last time you've seen him. And he was on hockey skates, in which he was 6'7", 6'8" on hockey skates.
He was 6'8". He was very tall. I was like, no.
He was like, no, he was just a little boy.
No. I pulled up a picture of him like as like a toddler stuffing a cupcake in his mouth, and I'm like, this is who I knew. Like, have I seen him since he was like an adult? Like he was older? Yes. But like in my head, he's still smooshing cupcakes. And I'm like, this seems wrong. I don't
None
like
of this makes any sense.
No, and none of it makes sense. I am a 1980 baby.
And I just stood there with Julie being tall and everybody else around me being tall, and this guy on skates at 6'8", and I was like, very short.
Very short.
I was just like, don't murder me. I'm just down here, little bitty thing.
Listen, that's just me regularly, like standing in a group with like Katie, Kate, Wallace, and Miranda, and me doing this.
At least when we all hang out, me and you are similar in height, so it's not just tall people.
I mean, I did leave out Devesha for obvious reasons, in that I'm not sure she's 5 feet tall, but I can't imagine.
I do this thing too. Like, no, I'm 40. No, I'm not. I'm 40. I'm 39. I'm 28. I'm how old?
My brain, how old does my brain feel? 18.
Yeah.
How old does my body feel? 58.
Yep.
So I'm somewhere in the middle.
What did my niece tell you? You look
She
young.
said, wow, you keep yourself looking really young. And I was like, how old do you think I am? She was like, 48. And I was like, well, obviously not young enough. Thank you so much.
I was like, ooh. She goes, oh, you look young. You stay looking young. How old do you think I am? Oh, 48. I was like, oh. Amber was like, that's rude. I was like, yeah, that's okay. I forget what she said I was before she like did her math. And I was like, I'm only 2 years older than your mom. And she was like, oh.
I think she said 50 something.
Yeah. And I was like,
you're like, rude.
You're an ass. That's purposely mean. That's
I know.
purpose.
And I was like, I'm the exact same age as your mom. Mm-hmm. And then she still said, oh, 48.
My sister was like, you better not.
Well then.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, somebody thought I was in my 20s the other day, and I was just like, man, fat really does fill in all the wrinkles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel very old lady. Yeah.
Yeah, I was at work one time and we were talking about having kids, like because somebody had newly pregnant or something. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to have kids. And somebody goes, oh, do you think that, like when you're like later in your 30s, you'll change your mind? And I was like, 38. So no. They were like, "Oh, I thought you were like 25." I was like, "Thank you." But no.
The fat fills in all the wrinkles.
Absolutely
Mhm.
not.
Yeah, my cousin, who's the same age as Julie, she's born in 80. She's thin and she's so much more wrinkled than I am. I'm like,
Oh, I still have all the wrinkles.
you do not have a lot of wrinkles.
My partner and I have a difference in age. When random people see us, they think he's my dad. Guess I look a lot younger than I am. Yeah, that'll happen. I went out with my sisters. I am 2 years, 5 years, and 10 years older than them, respectively. And I took them out at one point. We were like in Georgia. We were on vacation and I took them somewhere and they're like, "Oh, that's so nice. You're out with your daughters." And I was like, "You are rude."
They did the same thing with my brother because I'm 14 years older than
That
him.
makes sense a little bit more.
No, it doesn't. I had a baby face. I looked like I was 12.
Amber, I was really...
And they were like, "Oh, your son is cute." My mom turned, like, she was like grocery shopping and she whipped around and she was like, "Excuse me, that is my son. That is her brother."
I would have had to be 2 when I had my sister. So yeah, it's a little different than 14. I was like, no, nope. How dare you? We're in the South. You should have erred on the side of caution. That's purposely rude. Absolutely not.
I like unreasonably have always gotten kind of like angry when people think that Danica is my kid. And I'm like, you were 20 when she was born. You are old enough to be her parent. But I'm just like, I'm not old enough to have a 16-year-old. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
How
I mean,
dare you?
I know technically I'm old enough to be my brother's mom because kids my age were already having kids when my mom had him. There was a girl in school that by the time we graduated high school had like 2 kids.
Me too.
And she had one in junior high and one in high school. But still, I don't feel old enough to even have a brother that's 26 years old. I'm not even 26 years old.
Right. How is my brother that's 14 years younger than me 26 when I'm not even 26?
Valid.
I'm only 24 here, okay? How is that possible?
It's not.
I got an invite to a Facebook group for my high school 20-year reunion earlier this week, and I went, huh?
Yeah, sadly, I had my high school 20-year reunion like 3 years ago. So
I'm like, I why do I still have nightmares about missing class in high school when I've been out of school longer than I was ever in it? Why do I still have nightmares about waking up late for class? I don't understand.
I know it boggles my mind that the people that are graduating high school this year were not even alive when I graduated high school. They weren't alive at all. Like, not a baby. They were years from being conceived. When I went to my 20-year reunion, one of the girls that I went to school with was saying that her daughter was a senior in high school this year. And I was like, we just graduated 2 years ago. I don't understand how your daughter... She's like, you're at the 20-year reunion.
You're like, will you hush your mouth?
I know, but we actually only graduated 2 years ago.
The math is not math.
Nope.
Time is stupid.
Time is stupid. I concur. Time is also stupid because the time for us to hang out is over.
Wah, wah, wah.
Wah, wah, wah. But we'll be back next week, and the week after that, and the week after that, and the week after that, and the week after that,
Infinity and
and
beyond.
the week after that. So, with the exception of like March 31st, probably not. Maybe not. We'll see.
What's March 31st?
It's Easter. We're going down to my aunt's.
Oh.
I don't know what time she's having dinner, so
We're going down to Georgia.
we'll see. It's scheduled for right now. We'll see what happens, but yeah, that's gonna be the goal. Would be to be back, but who knows? But that's gonna do it because I've got to go and get ready for my week.
Me too.
And
Gross.
I hate that for us, but adulting. Thank you for sprinting with us. I got over 2,000 words, and I'm very happy. I appreciate you being here to write with me or just do stuff with me.
I only have like 5 more rows, and then I'm done with this half of the pillow.
Like, Jess only has half a book left, and then she's done with that book. And she only has 22 more to go this month.
That's right.
20 even, I think.
Ooh, look at you. Even better than I thought. So we will see you next week. Any closing thoughts, friends? No.
I'm sprinting tomorrow night on Sam's channel at 8.
Ooh. Okay.
And then on my channel Saturday at 7.
There you
Look
go.
at you. 7 in the PM on Saturday?
Not in the morning.
Not getting up at 7 a.m.
Not getting up at
Julie.
7 a.m. I don't know what you do.
Well, I will probably be up at 7 a.m. because I have to work Saturday, but that is outside of the point.
Gotcha. All right.
7.
Well, that's where you can find her. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, friends. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.